Nikki Haley, Ambassador to the United Nations, has been very special to me. She's done an incredible job. We're all happy for you in one way, but we hate to lose. Hopefully you'll be coming back at some point, but you want to just, in maybe a different capacity. You can have your pick.
Look at that. He left the door open for her. Let's talk to Kellyane Conway, counselor to President Trump. Kellyane, you're there at the White House right now. White House, it looks like, probably knew behind the scenes that she was about to leave. We didn't. Why is she leaving? You can tell us.
It's exactly what the ambassador and the president have said. You have to understand the sheer volume and velocity with the way this president and his senior advisors work means you can accomplish a great amount in a very limited time. Look at what the president's done. Historic economy, working on peace, new trade deals, modernized trade deals, deregulation, obviously the largest tax cut, 2 Supreme Court justices, 26 on the circuit courts. And that actually has a ripple effect into all these departments and agencies as well. And I think at the United Nations, Ambassador Haley has distinguished herself for that service. So much has happened on the world stage since this president has become commander-in-chief and held office here. And also, I'm going to take Ambassador Haley at her word that she is leaving public service now. Obviously, she's been a public servant for, gosh, I think it's maybe 15 or 16 consecutive years now. And she'll go out to the private sector, I believe, and do very well. And I think we can expect to see her on the campaign trail. I sort of thought maybe she'd say she was leaving immediately to join the president and the vice president on the campaign trail these last 30 days because she would have a positive impact out there. But she feels like she has more work to accomplish. But Ambassador Haley will be deeply missed and widely respected and fondly regarded for a very long time. It's not just the work that she accomplished, which is considerable, but it's the way she accomplished that work. It's the grace, it's the dignity. It really is the America First way that she went about her work. Remember when she raised her hand? She presided over historic back-to-back unanimous votes against, I believe it was Russia or North Korea at the time. But those were significant. And, you know, with her at the table, this president has been able to accomplish so much on the world stage, and we're all grateful, and she'll be missed.
Kellyane, in your prior life, and I guess part of your new life, you look at polls all the time, you look at trends all the time. They say, Politico says, the 209 seats either firmly or leaning Democrat in the House, only 9 shy of the 218. Do you agree with those numbers? And if so, or if not, what did the Kavanaugh hearings do for those numbers?
A couple things. The historical trends mean that the party in power loses seats in the House. This is just a president who defies trends, and rather than repeating history, he tends to make history. And you can see what his strategy is between now and Election Day. He's leaving it all on the field, running through the tape, exactly what he and Vice President Pence did in 2016. Same strategy. And he's bringing in huge crowds to these rallies, not because it's new to them that Mr. Trump, President Trump, would come to their states or their areas, but because they're there as a way to say thank you. Thank you for making good on so many promises, for spurring an economic boom that many in the media want to continue to ignore every day, but that every single moment the American people feel they've got job security, but also job mobility. And so, yes, there are 43 retirements. Look, I think that the hardest thing about the House map is that there are 43 Republican retirements, including in states like New Jersey and California, where you had long-term Republican members in seats that, in 23 seats, frankly, that even the woman who lost that election had carried in 2016. And so that's tough. But this president, he's out there saying, hey, a vote for this person is a vote for my agenda, and he can do that. Now, having said all that, let's not forget the same geniuses that predicted a huge romp by that woman who lost in 2016 are the same people predicting a huge win by the Democrats this time. So we have to be a little bit cautious. I hear that often when I'm out on the campaign trail in my personal time. People will say, hey, I don't believe these polls because it comes from the same media that's 92% negative in their coverage about President Trump and his administration. And so and that's not going to deter them from showing up. What is the effect of the Kavanaugh hearings? I think because the left can't just leave it alone, because they can't look at the dignity and the sturdiness of the United States Supreme Court, all 8 justices coming to this White House in the East Room in the front row to welcome President Trump's latest nominee, Justice Kavanaugh. I thought that was a remarkable moment to see all of them here, including the 3 women who had been nominated by 2 Democratic presidents. They're here because the United States Supreme Court is a sacrosanct, sturdy institution that will withstand those people who are flailing and wailing in front of the United States Supreme Court. Are they energized? Perhaps. Is it purposeful? Did they become angry in the last 3 weeks because of Brett Kavanaugh, or the last 3 years because of President Trump? I don't think so. Did you see some of these people? They've been marinating in a toxic brew of rancor and bitterness for quite a while. Yeah. So maybe they'll show up at the polls, but I think we're going to be surprised again at the people who support the president's agenda who show up at the polls as well.
They're mad because their candidate didn't win, and that was Hillary Clinton. And, you know, many people are saying, let's be civil, let's get along, let's unify. But Hillary Clinton, she's agreeing with the Maxine Waters of the world, it appears. Listen to this next soundbite. She's saying civility is not an option.
You cannot be civil with a political party that wants to destroy what you stand for, what you care about. That's why I believe if we are fortunate enough to win back the House and/or the Senate, that's when civility can start again.
Well, what does that mean exactly, Kellyanne?
Look, usually when she opens her mouth respectfully, she offends at least one half of the country, and she did it again. But I think her discourse now is a little bit dangerous. I don't like the implications there. It's one thing to call us deplorable, irredeemable, laugh at people who don't have all the privileges that she has had with her Ivy League law degree and through her marriage to a much more popular a man who actually was a 2-term president that she'll never be. I don't like that kind of talk, and I avoid it. My boss has called for civility. He's said that he represents all Americans. We don't run around asking people what their party affiliation is when he's cutting their taxes and allowing their small businesses to be free of regulations and growth. We're impervious to that. And yet, and I want to say something else. I don't see all these Democratic candidates banging down Hillary Clinton's door, asking her to lock arms. She's not. Again, she has to go with her husband to do this 13-city tour, $120 million. That I assume they're not going to donate to some center on women's and girls. I don't see her doing that. So I think it's not just unfortunate and graceless, but a little bit dangerous. And I would ask her to check that.
Kanye West coming to the White House tomorrow. What's on the agenda besides lunch?
Well, maybe he'll have his famous red hat. Several things on the agenda. Obviously, he has connective tissue with many Americans and can, I think, communicate parts of the president's agenda that he agrees with and that he's willing to fight for. Obviously, Jared Kushner and the president are working on prison reform. Kanye West's wife has been here before talking about particular individuals and was very big in getting what I call Grandmom Alice, one of my favorite videotapes of all time, watching her run to freedom. And I think also, I'm hoping that he'll also help us tackle, join with us tackling the opioid crisis in this country, because it is rankling everybody, and to get people of his stature to actually speak about that. But I think, look, we welcome people to the White House every single day who may not agree with everything this president does. It's one of the many qualities that Americans love about the president, who are actually paying attention, not blinded by their hatred. And so we welcome him and others. Many people come through the door that you don't know, of, and have lunch with the president privately. And it's an exchange of ideas, and the president is incredibly respectful and opening to listen. He's a great listener.
Well, tomorrow he's going to listen to Kanye
Medicare
West,
for all. By the way, Medicare for all is something that President Obama, and I assume Hillary Clinton, when she says that this president and this party disagree with their agenda, Medicare for all is one of those. It is anti-senior, anti-choice, anti-consumer. The Democrats are for it. President Obama said it sounds like a new good idea. Tom Perez has said that the future of the party is through Medicare for all. About 60 House members and a third of the Democrats are behind it. Seniors, don't be fooled. It's anti-senior, anti-choice. You'll lose your doctors. It would destroy Medicare Advantage. And I know Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez couldn't say what it would cost, so let me help her out again. About $32 trillion is the estimate of its price tag. It's a horrible thing. I think post-Obamacare, with 20 million Americans still lacking health care, this is something that could actually hurt seniors, and they should know it. And the president has a great op-ed about it today.
All right. Thanks, Kellyanne Conway. Thank you so much.